Sorry because of the lighting. I'm not in the regular place that I record. Plus, it's late. I was gonna wait till tomorrow just so you guys could see me better, but I can't. There's something about what I'm gonna talk to you guys about that has been like nagging me. Um, what am I gonna talk about? I saw this thing on Facebook, right? I read it's like a little picture that somebody posted, and I thought it was very interesting. It says, not going to church because of the hypocrites is like not going to the gym because of the out of shape people. Why am I bringing this up? The reason why I'm bringing this up is because I personally am a follower of Jesus Christ, and if anybody is wondering what that means, that doesn't mean that I go to church. Anybody can go to church. What it actually means is that I am trying to live like Jesus did, to love like he did, and to leave what he left behind. I know some people might be going like, yeah, whatever. Well, I want to go a little deeper than that. I was raised Pentecostal since I was little. I went to church like 6 times a week, and I did that ever since I was little till I was 14. And why did I do it? It wasn't a matter of that I wanted to go. It was more of my mom. If I didn't want to go, she would make me go. But there was a point in time. Well, since I was little, I was taught a lot of things. I didn't believe them just because people taught them to me. I actually, when I was 12, one day I was like, why am I coming to church? Like, why? Why are these people talking about this Jesus guy? Why are they talking about this God guy? And I decided to actually put into practice what I was being taught. And I myself decided to have a relationship with God, to actually talk to him and have a communication with him. And I did that. And I can say that even though I was really young, I was able to have a lot of personal experiences that I'm not going to go into details because you can never, with what has to do with your spirituality, you can never just go off on what people say. You actually have to take a decision onto yourself to go a step farther and actually seek what you're looking for. If people tell you something, you're not just gonna be like, oh yeah, I believe in it. No. Well, I'm not that way. I want to actually have an experience with what people are telling me. After that, I turned 14. A couple of really hard things went on in my life, and I actually stopped going to church. I stopped going to church. I stopped visiting church. When people would invite me, I would say no. I would not. I don't want to go. And one of the reasons is, and it has to do with that little saying or whatever they posted, is because I had a couple of bad experiences. I went to a couple of churches where I didn't feel welcome. I didn't feel loved. I felt criticized. I felt looked down onto. I'm saying all churches are like that because they're not. It's like, it is like, what that says is really, really true. It's like, so I'm sick, but I'm not gonna go to the hospital because there's a lot of people there that are sick. It makes no sense. Um, People that go to church, they're not saints. We're not perfect. We're not going to church because we are. We're actually going to church just like you would go to a doctor when you're sick. I am not perfect. Something I've been learning lately is that I want to be transparent of who I am. If you know me personally, you know I'm not perfect. I have a lot of flaws. I have a lot of things that God has to change in my life still. But I'm not going to stop going to church because some people are a certain way and might be hypocrites. There is. I am sometimes. I could be sometimes. I know people who are awesome, and they are. We're a whole bunch of people with a lot of flaws that have been hurt, that have gone through bad situations, just like maybe you have. But we've taken a decision that we want to be better. And how do we get better is by going to a place to listen to a word putting it into action, and it becomes life in us. I mean, if you go to church and you just listen and then you just go home and you don't do anything, it's actually like going to school, listening to the teacher, going home and not doing any of the work, and then you just keep going like that. You're not going to get smarter. You're not going to get wiser. You're not going to change. Your brain cells are not going to expand. Same thing with your spirituality. If you're reading God's word, aka the Bible, and you're not putting it into action, there's not going to be any change in your life. You're going to stay the same way. And yeah, I mean, this is not a magic trick. It's not like I go to church and I come out and I'm like, perfect. It would be awesome if it was. Personally, I can say that I've been being a follower actively the last almost 4 years. And I can tell you guys, there's a lot of areas of my life that God has just worked on and I haven't even noticed, but it's been because I have committed to doing something over and over and over that is good. I don't know how many of you guys have heard that when you do something over and over, expecting different results, that's insanity, I think it is. Well, when you actually do something good, like you put into action something all the time, you actually change a bad habit to a good habit. Well, let me go a little bit back. A couple years back, I was really lost. Like, I was a very depressed person. I have had a lot of loss in my life, and those lost, I don't deal well with emotions. So I haven't liked dealing with emotions ever since I was young. So early in life, I would just go into my fantasy world. I had this whole fantasy world I created because I didn't want to feel pain. I didn't want to feel everything that was going around me. And as I grew older, I turned into other stuff. I turned into drinking alcohol. I turned into smoking. I turned into taking medications just so I would sleep, or I would just like be in the zone where I couldn't think. I would go from relationship to relationship just so I could be distracted of what I was going through. And instead of helping me, it kind of became like I would do something, I would get over it, so I would go worse and worse and worse. And in the moment when I actually, decided to actually go visit just because somebody invited me, I was like, okay, whatever, let's go. And I went. I was there, and I don't know who's been to a church and they do a calling. Well, my experience wasn't through a calling. I actually was just there, and they were singing, and I just started crying because I got to this moment when it was like I actually wanted to die. Like, I remember, because I grew up believing in God, that I would tell him, like, my life has no purpose. I am good for nothing. I am just like in so much pain that if you would just take my life, I think somebody else can have it. Like, the space on earth, somebody else can have it. And I feel so depressed. I feel so sad. But then again, when I was there and I was just like listening to the songs and I was just like meditating and talking to God, I just started feeling like it was a moment in which it was like, either I stay the way I was in pain and eventually like I would die, or something would happen, or I could choose to take a step into trying something different. And I decided to try something different. I decided to let Jesus Christ into my life. And I remember telling him, like, if you take all this pain, everything that I'm feeling, I just would dedicate my life to serving you and searching for you. And let me tell you guys, it's been like 3 years and I'm not perfect. I'm a hot mess sometimes. I say I need Jesus all the time because I always need to keep going back to him and like talking to him and like reading his word and like having him show me my way. And that wouldn't happen if I didn't go to church, because there's my pastor, he's awesome. I have people like my brothers and sisters in the faith that somehow each of them have taught me something. People that when I'm down, they're like, bring me up. And yeah, in some churches, in my church, there's people that don't do that. It's fine. I'm not gonna judge them. Guess what? Sometimes I don't do it to them. But thank God I found a place where I feel at home. I feel welcome. If you go to a church and you don't feel welcome, keep visiting other churches. Don't judge one because of everybody else. It's like, I know it's cliche, but don't judge a book by its cover. I mean, that church you went to and there was that hypocrite, there's like 10 other people that are really nice and they'll love you and they'll, help you out. Don't focus on the bad, focus on the good. I mean, imagine if people just focus on the bad on you. If people just focus on the bad on me, I wouldn't have no friends because I can be a very mean person sometimes, but God is treating in my life. And I just wanted to say that don't let that stop you from going to church. Don't let that stop you from learning something new that could be a life-changing experience. There's some of you guys out there that you're like, I'm great, I'm doing good. Great, awesome. I'm happy that you're doing great. That's really good. But right now, if you're watching my video and you feel like you're sad, you're going through something, and you feel like you've been searching for something for a long time and you just don't know what it is, let me tell you that that void you have, it can only be fulfilled with one thing, and that's Jesus Christ. And try it. 30-day guarantee. If you don't like it, go back to the way you were. But I can assure you that if you would give Jesus that little spot, that little chance, you're not gonna go back because it's a great experience. It doesn't change. Some people are like, oh, I need to stop doing all these other things and blah, blah, blah. And whenever I get better, I'll go. No, because what makes you think that all this time you have known you have to change that and you haven't been able to change it? What makes you think that it's going to change? You need someone to help you. And personally, the only one that has helped me get through all of those stages and like has healed my heart, and like I don't feel hate no more, because I used to hate, blown out hate some people. I don't hate no more. And like it's so great to actually understand that everybody's a human and that everybody makes mistakes and that everybody needs forgiveness. I was forgiven and I should get forgiveness, and that's awesome. I'm happy. I don't think I'm a boring person. Everything that I have stopped doing is because I felt in my heart that it wasn't good for me. And I think a very sane person wouldn't want to do things that are not good for them. So this is my thought on people that do not go to church. And if you've been to church and you've been mistreated, I personally want to say that I am so sorry that happened to you. That is not something that should happen. A true follower of Jesus, don't. I read this thing that says just because you stand in the garage, you're not a car. Just because a person's at church doesn't mean they're Christian. I don't like that word, but like a follower of Christ. There will be people in church that are not really connected to God. And that sucks. But if you've been hurt, if you've been criticized, if you've been looked down onto for someone who used the word Christian, I want to say that I am really, really sorry. And that I really hope that you find in your heart like the space to give God another opportunity, because I know we're the reflection of him, and it sucks that person wasn't a good reflection, and it sucks if I was the one that wasn't a good reflection. I don't know if you're watching this and you're like, you're the one. Could have happened. I don't know. I hope it didn't. But if that's how it is, like, give it another chance. Go. Keep visiting. Find somebody. You'll find somebody who will be there for you. I mean, if not, leave a comment below, subscribe, like, share, and then maybe I can invite you to my church and we could be friends and I can help you out. I mean, I would love to be able to share that everything that God has done in my life so far and everything that he keeps doing. Again, I'm not perfect. I'm not a saint yet, but every day my purpose in life is to be more like him, because he's just so amazing and so awesome, and just everything that he's done in my life is worth the effort of me trying to live like him. And I fail all the time. I can just write like a whole list of the times that I fail. It's so awesome how he just grabs you back and he picks you up and he doesn't judge you and he doesn't push you away just because you weren't perfect. No, he's always standing there with arms wide open just for you to come to him. And I know there's a lot of people that have a lot of different mentalities and a lot of other beliefs. I respect every belief. Whatever belief you have, if you have no belief, I respect you. I'm always open to share. Like, I love learning, but this is my personal opinion, this is my personal belief, and I just hope, I don't know, maybe it was useful for something. If it wasn't, still like, comment, subscribe, and I'll just keep talking other topics. So that was it for today. Sorry about the lighting, and it was really dark, but I had to get this out of my chest because I couldn't keep it here no more. So bye, and thanks for watching.